going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Big D Energy right here on the Woodward Sports Network. We got my guy back in the building, Joique Bell in the house, D-Mac, Darren McCarty, four-time Stanley Cup champion as well, Fish in the Bowl, the child of the Flint streets. Of course, he is Arturo. He's in the production booth. Also, all of you on our YouTube chat thread, if you're listening on radio, on 93.5 The Roar, 99.1 FM, or 94.7 HD2. What is up, Joique? You're back in the building, and, it's all good, man.
It's all good. Right back. So, you know what? Before the show started, D-Mac was asking me how my weekend went. It was a long weekend, but it was enjoyable, though. It was enjoyable. It was my son's first homecoming, and so he was like, Dad, I'm starting this week. Make sure you're there. So I'm like, all right, no problem. All right, so do you have a date for homecoming? I was like, are you taking, such and such? I don't want to say her name. I'm like, you taking such and such? He said, yeah, I'm taking her, right? And so I said, what are you wearing? And he said, I don't know yet. I got to get a suit. I said, Daddy got you. I said, you want Daddy to dress you? You want Mama to dress? No, I want you to dress me, Dad. I want you to dress. and so I go, we get him a suit. We take him go get it tailored, and then I pick out the shoes, and the shoes I want, they're sold out. So now I'd have to buy them on the fly. So I get a pair of shoes on the highway in Kalamazoo at the mall in Kalamazoo, and I'm like, these will do, but they're not.
It's not popping.
It's not pop. It's not gonna give it that pop.
Yeah.
And so I get there, and I say, you know what? Let me run to South Bend Mall. Let me go to University Mall real quick. So I go to South Bend. I go to University Mall before his game. Get there, find the shoes he wants. Gets back, and I was running late because I had to handle stuff at my property in Benton Harbor. But I was able to run and get there. I got to the game with like a minute and a half into the game. I'm not lying. They were up 21-0 in a minute and a half into the game. And I thought I missed the first quarter. Like, did the game start early? And I still said first quarter. And so I get to the game. They end up winning 75-0.
All right.
And they end up winning 70. They 5-0. They undefeated. They're rolling right now. The kids, they got some players now. Mm-hmm. They got some players on the team. And I think they're all coming back next year too. So I mean, they're rolling right now. And so the next day, when we leave the game, I take him home. I put on his outfit. I size him up, and he tries on the first pair of shoes I got, and he said, "Okay, I like these. What else you got?" I didn't show him the other one, so I showed him the other one. He said, "I like these right here. I like these."
That's
so he
cool,
puts
man.
them on. They go to the homecoming the next day. It was beautiful. My niece was able to capture a picture of him and his future. Now I think it's his girlfriend now. They made it official at the homecoming dance. It was the cutest thing, and my son got his first kiss from her at the dance. It was a proud moment.
Well, I asked because, and I'm interested. My son is 14. He's going to his first homecoming. Now he's not going with a girl. He's going with the crew. He's going with a couple of guys, and I think he's feeling that process out yet. And I am like, because. So the dance is Saturday, and I got to do television for Detroit City FC. So I can't take them, and I'm crushed by that, man, because of stuff like that. I'm crushed by that. You
got time.
I know there'll be more and everything like that. It's just this industry, man. When you work in sports, dude, like.
Non-stop.
It is. It just doesn't stop.
Let me guess, too, it's probably not slowing down at all.
No, we're only getting going.
Doesn't basketball season start?
College basketball starts at the end, the end of the month. Oakland's got a exhibition game against Eastern Michigan. And once we do that, I mean, you're going to West Virginia, you're going to Oklahoma State, you're going to Alabama, you're going to Florida for a tournament. That's all just in November. So
sounds like fun.
Yeah, but that's how it goes. Yeah. And like this industry, man, you miss cherish those moments, Joique, man.
D-Mac, you said you've been there and done
it.
Yeah.
So that's like looking here is that my son who's 25 been through the high school stuff and been through graduate UCLA and do all that stuff, but you're living it now. And then Neal.
We're all on the same highway, just different exits.
Same trajectory. So to ask you how your weekend was and to listen how. The way that you said it, man, he looked. What did you say? He looked.
So he had that. When he sent me the video of the night of the pictures he took in the video, so my niece snuck and got a video of him dancing with his date. And that's when I think he got his first kiss on that day. And so that's prime footage. So that's prime footage that I have.
Prime footage,
it's prime
exactly.
footage. She caught it. And then my niece told me not to say anything.
Of course.
But she said, the girl said, hey, can you sneaky get a video of me and Jordan while we're dancing? So she was kind of expecting. So it was set up a little bit.
So is it like we were mentioning about boyfriend or girlfriend, or is it?
I think
did he make the leap? Or
no, he made the leap. He made the leap. And so, but the thing was this. She said, listen, you know what? He said, no, I want you to do it nice. So he's going to get her flowers and he's going to redo it again to make it, to make it more romantic. I said, look, okay.
Yeah, you got the kiss, though. You got a little layaway.
And so what happened was, it was funny because within the same breath of me saying, I said, son, I'm proud of you. And I had him on FaceTime with my niece. And I said, so, I had to kind of shift the conversation. I said, so how was your date, Winter? How was your date? Did you enjoy your night? She said, oh, I didn't have a date. I said, yes. She what was the girl?
That's different.
Yeah. It's different. Oh, that hit different. I said, that's my girl.
Different. Yeah.
That's my girl. So it was a good time. It was a good weekend, great weekend. Was able to come back here and handle some work here, and so it was a good weekend.
Steve R says in our YouTube chat thread, you can get involved on our YouTube channel. Just go ahead and pop in there. You can watch the show, obviously, and follow along. Steve R says, I had a daughter after my first deployment, and now she's a sophomore in college. I don't know where the hell the time went. Enjoy every moment, people, because they grow up way too fast. And every parent's got that story, right? I mean, like I said, my son's a freshman in high school, and, how did that happen, man? Like, how did that happen? But here we are, and we just keep on keeping on, man. So
makes
all those moments. Yeah, it does actually.
It makes you proud.
It does, man.
Yeah.
I mean, for a couple of reasons, right? Like number one, especially this year with him being in high school, like he's really starting to take ownership, and I don't know where he got this from, but he was always like a huge procrastinator and waited till the last minute for everything, and I don't know where he got that from. But
his mom. I'll tell everybody. Gosh,
but he's like. It's weird, man. This year, he's taking ownership, he's taking accountability and handling his business. I don't have to tell him 177 times to do stuff anymore. And it is like they take on their personality, and you kind of set them off into the they're getting their going, man. Because you're gonna blink again, he's gonna be moved out of the house.
No, my son still has that. It was a point to where I come to work, and it was on the summer. I come to work in the morning. I leave here. I don't get home till about 6 in the evening because I left here. I had to go handle more work, more business. I come home, and my son was still in the bed. Nothing in the house was clean. I said, this will never happen again. And so I went to the laptop. I typed up chores, like, this is your schedule every day. And it was like 2 pages. This is what you do every single day. And then on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you add this to what you do every single day. And so when I came home, we never had that issue again. Never. But I mean, you got to work with them. You got to work with these.
Yeah,
I think the big point too, Neal, is who are their peers and who are they hanging around with? What are they doing? Obviously, for me, sports was a huge deterrent and stuff like that. So I know for my son, speaking from experience, the best thing that I did when his freshman sophomore year was to send him to the Jesuits at UAD because those study habits that he learned, right? So he's learning them because his peers are pushing him to be better, and then that's a great sign. So it's always great at little checkpoints. So we'll be talking about how maybe Joique will address your son too if he needs some pinpointers.
No, Dad's got him.
I know he looked fresh, that's for sure.
Dad's got him. Charles McLean says, I got a daughter, 26, who just seems like yesterday she was born, but married and got 2 daughters. And that'll be another thing, like when the kids get married and have kids, and then that's when you're an old man officially.
Now, when my daughter goes to her first homecoming, that's when it's gonna
I know, my baby girl's 6. Like I can't even contemplate that, man.
Yeah, just my daughter's first day of school was this month. You just got here.
Right.
You just got here.
Yeah, absolutely. But no, it is. It's good. It's good to have you back in the building, Joique. Of course, Along the Ice says I'm still recovering from the heartbreak on Sunday. What was your take on all that, Joique? We got a few minutes here before the break.
Oh God, you know what? When I told you guys that throughout the season we're going to see flashes, that's what we saw this past Sunday. We saw a flash of what they could be with Trey Flowers out. You have Decker out, and the guys still figure out a way to stay in the game and fight back and come back and you know what? On that play that they called a touchdown for Jamal Williams, you know, and then at the end of the game they said, well, you know what? They missed the delay of game, but they gave you guys a touchdown. Well, you know, you can say that, right? But if you look at the play before that Jamal Williams touchdown, DeAndre Swift was in the end zone. He was in the air and stuck the ball across the goal line. All right, he was in there. But you know what? Tough game. I mean, the game coming down to a NFL record field goal, and like Coach said, I'll take my odds with that. And in my head, I'm thinking, Matt Prater will make this kick from 66 yards. I think Matt. I've seen Matt Prater make this kick before, but and in my head, that's what I'm thinking. And then that same day, he had an opportunity to break the record with a 68-yard field goal, and then he misses the 68-yard field goal. I'm like, dang, he probably wouldn't have made the 66-yard. But you know what? So it was tough for me to watch that game and see it end the way it ended, because that really broke their back at the end. Because I talked to a few players after the game, and they were heartbroken. I let them know, like, listen, short-term memory, 24-hour rule, feel sorry for yourself. This is the NFL. Things like this happen, and for you guys to play as well as you did, credit, you guys had some errors in the game, but I wasn't upset with Jared Goff. I think he did a great job managing the game, was making smart throws, and it just fell short.
This is where I need that 3-34 sign behind my head going, because there are such positive things to look for. Now look for this week, obviously going in Chicago with Justin Fields, who's coming off an awful game, and but I look for, how does this team bounce back? Do they have a short memory? Can they learn young to have a short memory and get back to work? So disappointment right now, like, if there's something worse that can happen, all this bad stuff, let's have it happen now. And if I can get rid of it in the first 10 games of this tenure, and then we move forward, we won't be looking back, except we'll be looking back and going, hey, that 66-yarder that Daffy Doinkered off the crossbar? Yeah. Looks like a blessing in disguise.
Yeah. You know what? And listening to, Ryan Armani talk about how this regime, what's so different about this regime from the past regime, from a Matt Patricia, from a Jim Schwartz.
Can we talk about his take for a minute? How awful his take was? The worst take I've ever heard out of Ryan Armani's mouth in my life.
I've never heard anything like that. I said, what are you talking about? What are you doing?
I can tell you what's different in 8 seconds.
Please.
The philosophy on draft capital. They're loading up the war chest with draft
picks, man. And that's not what we think. Yeah. That's what we know.
That's tangible. That's tangible. That's provable. All that. And it's not like with these draft picks, too, from what we've seen out of Brad Holmes. Now, certainly he has to do it here, and that's been the hiccup for everybody that's come here. But it's not like when you gave draft picks to Bob Quinn when it was like giving a baby a machine gun. This is like getting draft picks for Brad Holmes to do what he does. Oh yeah, that's it right there.
Give me the chip.
Dom Rivera in a YouTube chat thread says, we all knew that this was not the year, so Sunday actually is a perfect game. See improvement, but protect the pick.
Right, no, exactly. Like, at the end of the day,
I can't argue that.
I mean, Terry said it the best. We're the best 0-3 team.
I'm telling you right now, because the way that the Rams are playing right now, we talked about this earlier. We're going to have a high draft pick in the first round and a low draft pick in the first round. I mean, the way that the Rams are playing,
you're going to have 3 of the top 38.
Yeah.
You're going to have 3 of the top 38, man. So that's my answer to that. What's different about the regimes? The value of draft capital to the regime. So again, hashtag 2023. Somebody get on the shirt. We got to get the T-shirts. It's just a Honolulu blue T-shirt, silver. Hashtag 2023.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then 3 of 34. And we can put new shirts out every week. 4 of 34, 5 of 34. Limited editions. You know what I'm saying? And then we'll be ready for the return, just like you can be ready for Tom Brady's return to New England for the biggest game of the year, and the stakes have never been higher at MyBookie. Whether you're backing the Bucs or the Patriots this Sunday, this game is always more exciting when you've got some money on it at MyBookie. Get in on the action. Take this game to a whole new level at MyBookie. Both teams are sporting top defenses. Nobody knows each other better than Brady and Belichick. Slow and steady will win this race. Smart money bets the under. Don't wait around. Join my bookie now and bet the biggest game of the season. Use my promo code WSN Woodward Sports. That's right. Use the promo code Woodward Sports and double your first deposit. Again, that's promo code Woodward Sports to get double your first deposit with my bookie and start your winning season today. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with my bookie. Have a problem? Call the Michigan Problem Gambling Helpline, 1-800-270-7117.
I'm looking to bring on another HVAC tech right now.
We're recruiting 5 to 10 techs a month.
We're looking to grow and expand.
Every new tech we hire is from Northwestern Tech.
The hands-on training is fantastic.
They're always my first call.
We love hiring Northwestern Tech grads.
They come out trained and ready to work.
Our program is only 10 and a half months, and our next classes are starting soon. So why wait?
I'm looking to hire
Hire a graduate
Of Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Off and running here, Big D Energy Woodward Sports Network. He's Joique Bell. He's Darren McCarty. I'm Neal Ruhl. Happy you all are running with us here today. And, did want to take a look at last night. And there were a couple of angles to unpack. It was Monday Night Football, and the Dallas Cowboys were involved, and they were playing, what looks to be an inferior team in the Philadelphia Eagles. So you knew what was going to happen. You knew the Cowboys were going to win, and now you got to hear the love fest, and everybody, the Cowboys are back, and Dak Prescott's back, and Zeke Elliott had a good game running the football, and boy, oh boy, Emmitt Smith and Troy Aikman put the Cowboys back together. They're back, baby.
They're absolutely back. Zeke Elliott, the offensive line, it looked like they were in control. Obviously, the whole game, when you get CeeDee Lamb taking the top off, that's the Dallas Cowboy team, and that's the money and everything. And I will say to my friend Pilar Lastra, your Cowboys looked very, very good last night, and I was impressed with Dak Prescott, not only with the night he had, but the durability. He took some hits. He took some shots. He's tough. He's good. He's legit, Joique.
The way he managed this game was great. Was making smart throws. I mean, we talked earlier about Jalen Hurts a couple weeks back, and I asked you what and you like Jalen Hurts.
I do, yeah.
And I asked you what is special about Jalen Hurts, and you can tell me.
No, I mean that as far as I like the way that he can throw on the run.
Yeah,
I do like that. He did that a couple of times. Now he got away with a few throws that do concern me over the course of time that he will not get away with.
Yeah.
If you extrapolate it out across a whole season.
Yeah.
But I like his command of the offense. He doesn't look overmatched. That's what I like about him. But at the same time, this Eagles team is not good.
Yeah, they're not good. And then they also, I'm not going to throw him under the bus. I mean, he had 3 offensive linemen out, like 3 starters out. And so he had a lot of guys chasing him, a lot of guys. He wasn't comfortable in the pocket, but he was still staying in there, made some good throws. I liked under pressure. Knew a big hit was coming, stayed in there, delivered a good ball for explosive play. And so I like him from that standpoint, being confident, being able to go out there, throw an interception, come back out, and try to get some stuff going. But I didn't see a lot from the Eagles offense. And then even defensively, they had Brandon Graham out, he's out, and it was a tough game. It was a tough game.
No, it was, and like I said, it's just you're going to hear about how the Cowboys are back because that's the narrative, and I'm not ready to jump up and down for the Dallas Cowboys and say, look out Rams, look out Tampa, the Dallas Cowboys are a threat. I'm not seeing it, but again, I knew this was coming. You guys all had to know it was coming too. I mean, the second that they play well, this is the way it is, man. It's the way it is all the time, and everybody loves them when they're winning. Chuck Brewer says Dallas Cowboy fans have to be the biggest front runners. And you know what?
No.
I don't know that they are.
We got one closer to home.
There is a fan base closer to home. I don't know that they're the biggest front runners because they do love the Cowboys. But I will say they do give a certain fan base a run for the money in terms of unrealistic reactions to 1 week of data. You know what I'm saying?
It's sort of weird too, though, because when the Cowboys are good, then you hear their owner. Then the size of Texas, the hugeness, the loudness, the
Everything's big in
veracity of that
Everything's big in
stadium.
Texas.
I mean, they can get it going. I enjoy it because we haven't seen it in a long time, right? We haven't seen a dominant Cowboys team, right? So a dominant Cowboys team only makes the league better because, so America's team. But it sort of is true. Growing up, it was always the Steelers and the Cowboys, and when they're good, it seems like everybody else around the league, and we haven't seen that in a while as far as tradition.
So do you like Dallas right now? Do you like Dallas?
I like
them?
Dallas. You know what? After last night, I like Dallas more than I did in the preseason. I think.
Oh, D-Mac, get you some, man.
No, I mean
Pile on.
I like them. I'm still not sold on them, but yes, Joique, I do like Dallas. The Dallas is, I could say, without ranking them in my top 10.
Okay, all right.
You like Dallas?
Do I like Dallas? I need to see more. But as of right now, I'm in limbo with them.
Well, just remember, somebody's got to win that division.
And then I don't like, understand. I don't like, I'm cool with Dallas as long as they understand like they're not the big D. Like we're the D.
Here's
we're
the
big
thing.
D and the G.
What I saw last night was Dallas is a dominant team in that division, which isn't saying a lot, but they are head and shoulders above the Phillies and New Yorks, so I think anyways, so I would put my money on them in that division.
Charles McLean says, I think Washington football team still wins the division. And I'm a big Washington football team guy, too, as far as that division goes.
Because of their defense?
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely. But again,
I thought you would have said that. You love the defense so much.
I love the defense, but what I saw, right, you know what? Like, it's also to the balance, and I'm not sold on who's even the quarterback in Washington, Heineke or whatever.
Game.
Right? Like, I'm not sold on that offense to put it together. I mean,
but if there's one team in that division that can overcome that,
you're right. Washington could, but
they've
it's
been
one of these
overcoming it for
things.
years.
I think that Dallas, though, right, has a shot now to face legitimately Washington.
If that game was to, say when that game comes to pass, it's going to be their offense, the Cowboys' offense versus the Redskins' defense. That's going to determine the outcome of that game. That's what it's going to be.
So then,
and their special teams.
My question to you is: in those type of games, isn't it like if the Dallas defense outplays the off? You know what I'm saying? We're looking. Dallas offense, Washington defense, bang, 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 bang. But isn't it the opportunity for like the defense or the Washington offense to show up and I guess show out?
And as of right now, I believe that I would say the Cowboys defense is playing better than the Washington football team.
See, that's what I'm saying.
And that might be what it comes down to. Right. But that's why I incorporated special teams.
I saw more of a team in that division, a wholesome team than I did out of Washington. Obviously, the Giants, and whoever, and the Eagles, obviously. So
yeah. Just remember, the bottom line is somebody has to win that division. It's math. Somebody will win the division. Yeah, they tried to not have a winner last year, but they still put someone in the playoffs. But that's the way that's going to be. And again, I don't put a ton of stock in the Cowboys yet. And I know everyone gets fired up, right? Because every year in your fantasy league, someone takes a turn drafting Zeke Elliott, thinking that this is going to be the year where Zeke gets back to the way he was. And so you got your game yesterday where he runs for 95 yards and runs in a couple of touchdowns and explodes and puts those big numbers on the board. And now you're happy. Now you're excited. But over the course of time, it's proven that I know you took him with the 5th or 6th pick or the 7th pick or whatever, but I know he popped a couple in there.
3 touchdowns last night. What more do you want from him?
I know, I get it. No, but
he's a one-game guy.
That's the taste game that you get.
I thought he had 3.
He had 2.
That's because he was short of the. He caught the pass and they said he was in.
Short. And they did the, and then I think they turned it over. Dak tried to rush it.
There was a lot of shortages though, because also along with that, Lamb was short as well, and that sucks because it was 1 yard. Yeah. And that was an incredible throw. We're playing it right now.
But if we look at this run right here, and these are the runs that I love to see. Him going into the end zone. Lamb was short, but him running into the end zone from the 1 yard line and just meeting the guy, it's me you one-on-one right here. The square up, and those are my type of runs. Those are my favorite type of runs. Because when we get down there, I sniff it out. And so
you run towards that contact, don't you?
Yeah. You got to run towards it, but you have to tweak your body around to make sure that you're taking the minimum amount of the blow, and you're trying to. You don't want to go straight down the square. But he did it on that particular play because it's like you and me one-on-one, and I love those type of plays.
And someone's leaving without dignity.
Yeah, somebody is.
There's dignity. I do like that too because there's dignity up for grabs.
And then it's not only for the world to see. There's also going to be some talk in that in that media room, in the office and meeting room.
That's where the men hang out.
Yeah. That's where they hang out, huh?
Somebody let Art know that's called the trenches, but
The trenches.
I'll
Google it.
No, but I'm not a buyer into Dallas or really anybody that's coming out of that division. So as far as that goes, I knew it was going to happen, and we're seeing it. And you look all over the. You look all over the power rankings, the Tuesday morning power rankings from all the the national shows and stuff like that. Yeah, Cowboys are great again. Dallas is back. I'm just not feeling it, man. I'm just not feeling it. So, with all that being said, nice win for them. They look good. The Eagles certainly did not look good, and we press on, man. And that's really where it goes to. But I did want to touch on as well the Monday Night Football broadcast, because I found myself watching a very big majority of it over on ESPN2 and watching the Manning's broadcast. And for those of you that missed it, they had a star-studded list lined up of guests yesterday. I mean, they brought heat yesterday as far as their guests went. And I always tread lightly with this because you heard me talk about it earlier. That's what I do. I'm a play-by-play guy. And that's my career. That's how I make my money and feed the family and drive the car and have the house and all that kind of stuff. So I have to be careful when I talk about this stuff.
Helicopter and the boat.
Yeah, and the country club membership and all that stuff. Yeah,
don't forget that.
But I have to be careful when I talk about this kind of stuff because I found myself enjoying it a lot. Mm-hmm. A lot.
Because you don't want to talk yourself out of a job.
Yeah, 100%.
But wasn't that in like? I thought that was so exciting, and my favorite part is when Eli Manning double flips the bird, and in his own way, you got to understand is that if you don't laugh because some 9-year-old kid did that to me, so I thought it was okay, which is so Manning. Yeah. And what I love is that you could tell that there's locker room mentality, but I was mentioning too either. Can you imagine being the younger brother to Peyton and Cooper? Because that you could tell. All that rust, I can relate because it's like having Eiserman as a bigger brother or whatever, that you just become sort of immune to it. And his sense of humor is so good. But I think the guests and what they get out of the guests, I mean, there's something there. I mean, there is something. Yeah. I mean, hey, Art's a big fan of the watch party. I mean,
I do love it. I think it fits some good. And every week in, week out, they come in hot every single week. They bring that heat. We got to pull them down with Northwestern Tech. Have I told you about Northwestern Tech? Start a new career in the industry that is always essential, the cooling and heating industry. To learn more today, go to northwesterntech.edu. I'm Joique Bell, Neal Ruhl, Darren McCarty. Big D Energy. Stay tuned.
Okay, you thirsty little spin goblins. I want you to pedal into the next dimension. Spin it! Spin! Spin! Uh-oh! Carmen's falling behind. Let's give her the hiss of shame. Spin! Spin! Spin till you bleed!
Don't ride the bike of shame. Come to Planet Fitness and find your own lane with tons of equipment, free fitness training, and no hissing. Join today for just $10 a month.
Back out of here, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. He's Joique Bell. My name is Neal Ruhl. He's Darren McCarty as we go across the line here. But happy to have you all with us for taking your comments as we roll along on our YouTube channel chat thread. Also, you guys do a great job of that. Chuck Brewer made a really good point, though, wrapping up our Monday Night Football discussion as far as the Eagles and the Cowboys go. He said the NFL doesn't really sort itself out for a good 6 weeks normally. And that's one of the wisest chat messages that I've read in a long time, because the Broncos are 3-0 right now. And you always have that in the NFL every single season where you get that team that's 3-0, 4-1 that really has no business having those kinds of numbers, and that's the Broncos right now.
I feel like you also have those teams like Kansas City to where it's like, why aren't they 3-0? Why aren't they 3-0? Or Tampa Bay Buccaneers too. It's like when you look at that and you think of Stafford and the Rams and you're like, wow, that he could be onto something, but you don't want to think too far ahead because it's literally week 3 in the NFL. Anything could happen from here on out.
Well, if you think about it, right, where you mentioned that, like, who can keep this pace up? Like, who's going to stay on this pace? You mentioned Denver. You don't see Denver keeping this pace up and finishing even 13-4.
They got some cool wins over the Jets and the Jags.
But they're doing what they're supposed to do. But that's when on the opposite, where you see the Rams clicking on all cylinders, they can keep this up. Kansas City, you mentioned, they're not. It's sort of like, I don't know. You got to remember, there's some sort of hangover, and it doesn't seem like they're too invested. Tampa Bay, we've seen this last year. They know not to peak too early. The thing that I think is the biggest travesty, or somebody look at Pittsburgh, Big Ben. Oh my gosh, I'm more mobile than him. But that looks to me like that could implode a little bit quicker. And saying the Pittsburgh Steelers, when do we say that they're a bit of a dumpster fire? But that doesn't look like it's getting any better anytime soon. So, and you look at here in Detroit, and you look at us at 0-3. We're the best 0-3 team.
Oh, here we go with that. I'm not bringing that one up.
No, but what I'm saying is that's what I want to be in the 3-for-34 era. Yeah. I wouldn't mind being 0-34. That means 2 first overall picks would be good. But I think that you're right. I think that's a great text to the fact that 6 games is usually where the well, at least here in Detroit, because we come out of the gate 4-2 at different times, or 5-1. And
yeah, absolutely.
Can't close it. So, but Pittsburgh to me is the one that I'm like, wow. I think that's worse than it looks.
Yeah, absolutely. But we are talking the Monday Night Football broadcast and the Manning broadcast and all that stuff. Jenna Newman says, I watched some of it last night. I enjoyed watching it with them and seeing Stafford on with them. And that goes back to the guests that I brought up. And also Jenna asked in the chat thread too, the MyBookie code, that's Woodward Sports. It's the MyBookie code. So get your deposit match going with that. But, it's – and I know – again, just being a play-by-play guy, as Darren said, I want to talk my way out of a job here. But, when you look at it from that perspective, here's where I worry about that, though, with the future. The Mannings are so good, Joique. They're so good at it. Peyton and Eli, they have that brother thing going on where they roast each other constantly, and that's hilarious, and you watch it. Yeah, and they get, they can get Matt Stafford on. They can get, LeBron James on. They got Nick Saban on. You know what I'm saying? Like, they get that roster. There are a very few number of ex-athletes that can do it on the level they're doing. I mean, very few. Because my biggest fear is now the Foxes and the CBS Sports and everything, they're going to try to chase this, and it's going to be awful. You have to have somebody elite at what they did and what they're doing.
You know what, though? You have a couple guys who are probably better. I'm not going to say better, but just as good in the media as they were on the field, who can probably pull it off. I'm going to give you one guy. And Peyton Manning, he kind of alluded to this. He said he was going through all the critics, all the critic reviews, and he said, you know what? People love Pat McAfee. We might he might be running the show in a few, and he might be one of those guys who might be able to have that same kind of approach and have that same type of lineup as the Peyton and the Manning brothers, because he's electrifying when it comes to this media thing. I love. He's one of the guys outside of a few others that I love to watch. Like, I love watching like the Nate Burleson. He gives like one side of it. I love watching Pat McAfee. He gives another side. Michael Strahan gives another side. So all these guys. I even like Dan Orlovsky. He does a great job. And so these guys, I think, will be able to kind of excel and do these similar things.
I think what's interesting too is, like, if it is a great game where you like to listen, you can do both. I mean, I would think that as a athlete as a football player that has to watch tons and tons of tape, well, throw in a reverse of the play with these guys, comment on it, see what they notice. You might pick something up or not, but I think that it's not a bad thing, because maybe that's something that you'll watch the game live while the game, but then go back and say, hey, what did the Mannings think of that? You can fast forward to different things, see who guests they have on. But to your point about Pat McAfee, absolutely. Hopefully he gets some of the wrestlers on. And you know, I mean, he's made that transition. I'm a huge fan. If you watch him Friday Night SmackDown, he's the fan, and it's the person. You invest in the person. It's the people, the Mannings, the relationship. It's the McAfees. That's what you're building. You're building the personalities.
You know what it is? So I'm pretty sure they did this before they started doing this. They probably say, you know what, let's do media. And Peyton probably say, you know what, I don't want to be an announcer. I don't want to be a play-by-play. I don't
be the color analyst.
Yeah. I don't want to do that. I want to do something that's a little bit different. And they probably came up with this specifically for them because it fits his personality great.
Hey,
great.
Yeah. You want to do a watch party for a hockey game and you let me sit around in the man cave and do me? Yeah. I'll give you everything you need.
Get your boy Wayne Gretzky.
It's the comfortability of who you're around.
Yeah. It was, and I think it was funny because Peyton is really great at telling stories. And I remember I was in high school and he came and he spoke at our college there in Benton Harbor, Michigan. It's called Lake Michigan College, LMC. And he spoke there, and he gave us a story. It was like, it's always one of those little witty stories. It was his first time starting in a Tennessee game, and I think the quarterback had got hurt, and he came and took his spot, and he was giving us a story. He said he came into the huddle. He said, listen, guys, I know we're down by like 3 or 4 touchdowns, but listen, if we pull it together, we can, I'll bring us back. And I think he said his veteran offensive lineman, his upperclassman, said, shut the F up and call a play. He said, so, we ended up losing that game, but hey, I did my part. And so it's stuff like that he can do when he called, you telling stories. Because we like to hear that side from former players. Like, we love to hear those stories. Right?
And those guys will come on, right? Like Nick Saban and LeBron and, as we said, Matt Stafford. And they have those stories. And Peyton told the story about when they were at a quarterback combine, like a combine type workout, and Stafford was there, and the Manning brothers were there, and Stafford threw his passes, and they were both scheduled to go next, and neither one of them wanted to follow Stafford because he got that cannon arm.
Yeah, he had the cannon. He said, what did he say? He said, a guy ran a post route and you waited 60 yards before you even threw the ball. He said, now for me to throw it 60, I got to hit the cutoff guy. I got to hit the cutoff guy. That's true.
You know what I love too is that you're going to learn these relationships that different guys have, no matter how they do it, right? Because this is like on the inside. If I can say, like, there's friends of mine, which are my closest friends of ours, right? And then friends of theirs, right? You don't want friends of theirs, but you want friends of ours. Who's friends of theirs? And you see the different relationships or what to come out. And yeah, if you thought like everybody looks in that aspect of what Matthew Stafford, the power of his arm through everything else, the legend and lore, where you got one of the greatest of all time telling you, yeah, I got to hit the cutoff, man.
Yeah, I didn't want to throw after you.
Yeah. So I like that too. And you get Coach Saban, you get all these different guys. So it's interesting who they bring on every week.
Coming from an athlete's perspective, and you played with some of the legends, I mean, just to confirm, and I think I've asked you this before, Joique, but Stafford is the hardest thrower you ever dealt with, right, in the NFL?
He's up there.
He's up there.
What did they say, Elway or Favre?
No, that I played with. So
that you played with.
Yeah, it's Stafford and Mike Vick. So those are two.
And lefty too. So spin's coming different, right?
So when I had to catch his passes, it was weird because it comes off with a different spin. And so I'll call passes from, say, Kellen Moore. He's a lefty, and his balls had a little bit more, touch on it, and so it was kind of easier to kind of manage those catches. But Vic had those. He had that gun. He was a gunslinger. So he had that.
It looked like when he threw it, he had extra spin on it or something.
Yeah, it's
just the way that his release, it was just like, and anything left-handed golf swing or throw looks better than a righty anyway.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you don't meet too many, strong throw lefties, with a cannon on them like
Lefties
that.
Lefties are always crafty. That's what they say. They're
crafty.
Like
in pitchers, like with pitchers,
right.
They're a little bit more crafty, And they say the people who, when you're lefty, you're using the right side of your brain, so you're a little bit more creative. I think that's
what they say.
That's the myth that's out there. But no, he had a cannon on him, and so I would probably say Stafford, and then Vic is like right here. Vic is like right here. But yeah, I mean, in the wintertime when you're catching those passes, I didn't know the tricks of the trade then. I ended up getting the tricks of the trade afterwards. But whenever he would throw the ball in, say, late December, mid to late December, and we're playing an outdoor game, when you catch it and that lace, you got to catch it, and that lace is spinning in your hand, you're catching and sliding through your hand, feel like a knife cutting through your fingers, like when it's cold outside. And so the trick of the trade is they would put the receivers, I found this out after the fact, they would put Vaseline on their hands, put rubber gloves on, like the rubber gloves on, and then put their hands inside their gloves, and it kept their hands warm throughout the game. So I said, oh, I wish I would have knew that before I retired, because
you always learn everything the hard way, Joique.
Yeah, you learned it the hard way, because you got to think, when you come out from halftime, the quarterback is on the sideline throwing passes, and he needs someone to catch the ball for him. And so sometimes I'm catching his passes before we go out. If we got the ball coming out of half, I got to catch some of the passes before we go out there. And I'm like, hey, one of y'all receivers come over here. Right.
That reminds me, Neal, of your life hack that you shared with us this weekend. Being traveling as you're getting back on the road, wasn't it the hanger with the curtain?
Like
there's so many life hacks,
the little clips on the curtain, and that's for everyone. Like, you get that little, when you put the curtains together in a hotel room, you take one of the hangers out of the closet and use the little clips that hang your pants, and you just clip, and it closes the curtain.
It's so true. All these little life hacks, the Vaseline in the gloves.
Yeah, but Neal is like
things that we wish we didn't know.
Neal is the Martha Stewart of hotel stays.
When the drape separates, the light shines right in your eye.
Every single time, doesn't matter where you are.
Right in your eye.
This is what I do. So you do the clip. I grab the lamp that's always standing up, and then I put the curtain together, and I stand the curtain on the bottom of it. Right, and then the last thing, and this is a life hack for the hotel, last one. What is the dirtiest thing in a hotel room?
The remote control.
No.
And so you go to the bar. You grab the ice tray, the ice bucket. You take the plastic bag out, and you wrap the remote control inside that plastic bag, and you tie it up, and you don't have to worry about the germs. You just control the TV from the it's just
I was going to say, throw that comforter right out. Bring my own blanket. Anyways, where you don't have to worry about that, ladies and gentlemen, right here. The Machete, Coast Portland. Yes, since 1919. I've been telling you, first responders, do-it-yourselfers. We got lamps of different sizes. Tammy's been telling us about the Petoskey Stone lamp. Anyways, coastportland.com, WSN 20 for 20% off, or hashtag How We Coast. Every Friday, they've given me, Darren McCarty, the opportunity to give away $100 gift certificates. All you have to do, anyway, Woodward Sports Network, is hashtag How We Coast. And you could be the winner, and you could have a beautiful machete like myself. Coastportland.com, WSN 20. If you can't wait, tell them Big D Energy sent you. Joique Bell, Neal Ruhl, Darren McCarty. We'll be right back. Woodward Sports Network.
Fellas, football season is here. It's time to make your grooming experience easy like Sunday morning. Get to Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Walk in, relax, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Get to Lady Jane's, open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime.
Hi, I'm David Hall from All Financial. With historically low interest rates and 5-star service, you could pay your mortgage off faster without increasing your monthly payment. Get started now at 248-308-5000 or chat with us online. Call hallfirst.com.
Big D Energy, it's on and popping here today on a Tuesday. Neal Ruhl, Joique Bell, D-Mac, Darren McCarty in the house as well. Happy to have all of you with us. And Joique's feeling the flow right now. He's back, baby. He is back, wrapping up this discussion about the Mannings and the broadcast. And they're putting up numbers, too. There were a couple million people putting up straight numbers. A couple million people watch that broadcast. So, again, my fear is that other networks are going to do this with people that aren't as good as the Mannings, and it's going to be awful and uncomfortable. But, hey, we'll see, man. It's a copycat society.
It is.
It's a copycat society. We are in. There is no question about it. Chuck says, depends on the game. If the Rams and the Bucks are playing each other, I don't want to watch the Mannings. And I feel that, too. I mean, if it's Cowboys and Eagles, that was the perfect game to click over to the Mannings and see what they have to say. It was.
For us, especially being here and stuff like that, and the way the games sort of got out of hand. But, yeah, I guess it depends on the matchup a lot, too. But to your point, if whoever it is if they're entertaining and they have something to say, I think that it could work no matter what. Obviously, you want football guys to talk football with the stories and stuff to get
that's old people
those little intricacies. I think that's what everybody likes. That's why we all love.
Talking. You know what?
Talk shows, a podcast.
This is what it is, D-Mac. People are so used to one form of media when it comes to a game. They're used to this one thing. They don't like to change with the time. You know the saying, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. And sometimes people get stuck in their ways. When you get older, you get stuck in your ways. I'm used to it being this way. I don't want to change. Do you like it more that way, or are you just used to that and you don't like change? Which one is it? I like this. I actually love it, and I love to see things kind of morph into something more than it's like this show is good, but we're going to keep excelling. We're going to keep doing things different, and we're going to bring in some more aspects, and we're going to the show is going to get better. So I'm all for change. I
love options. Facilitating options,
You like options?
It's the same thing as anything else. Instead of here, this is all you get. It's having the ability to choose what you want.
Just keep going. Keep the content going. This isn't about me. Keep it going, Joique. You're doing great. Just keep the train rolling.
I like to get you involved, Art.
I gotta focus.
Heard from you today.
I gotta focus.
Okay.
I gotta focus.
Okay. You gotta focus.
Dom Rivera says, I love Pat McAfee. He's one of the few shows that mentioned the booing of Sheila Ford. I barely heard about that. Well, Dom, stick around for later in the show. You should be in programming. I would say the second hour of the show.
There you go.
Later on.
Have you been talking to our producers?
Yeah, later on in the second hour of the show, we may or may not discuss that. That's all I'm saying.
May or may not. I think just may.
No, I think may. Yeah.
In the golden rule, that means we will.
Yeah.
Right. Another bit of Big J journalism.
No, we certainly will. But the Lions are going on the road this weekend. They're squaring off against Chicago. And you know what? Number one, Woodward Sports will be there. So, not actually in Chicago, but we'll have your pregame and your postgame coverage as we normally do. The pregame show live from O'Toole's in Royal Oak. Braylon Edwards, Ryan Armani, Maz, and Jade from WRIF. You can come out, win great Woodward Sports prizes and more. And that's brought to you by Woodward Sports, DraftKings, Jose Cuervo, and WRIF for the Lions pregame show. The postgame will be live from the Brass Rail downtown. Stick and Anson will be there. They had some things to talk about last week, so you can join them at the Brass Rail. There's an after party with a VIP area for Woodward Sports fans, pizza, and more. The official postgame for Detroit football is at the Brass Rail. But they'll be recapping that Lions-Bears game in Chicago. But, Joique, for this matchup this week, no one knows who the quarterback's going to be. Coach Nagy over there in Chicago, man. Do you get the feeling he's kind of circling the drain right now in Chicago. With just things aren't going well there. You know what I'm saying?
No, I think they're in a similar situation where they're rebuilding. Justin Field isn't playing good. He's not playing well. The run game the last 2 weeks has been non-existent. David Montgomery has to figure it out. He played well the first week against L.A., averaging over 6 yards a carry. I don't know what the drop-off is at this point. And so I know Dalton is out, and we thought that Fields would come in, and this would be his opportunity to come in and say, listen, I belong here, and I just haven't seen him be able to take over. It might be a confidence thing. It might be, I remember he came and he said, the game here is, it's kind of slow. I said, that's preseason. That's preseason.
All right, anybody?
No. Preseason totally different.
Anybody
from the
worried
season.
about Chicago quarterback guy having his coming out party against us?
Well, you always worry about. That's just par for the course. You always worry about that as a Lions fan, man. That's just what we've been conditioned to be.
Okay, but are we talking about it, or are we just gonna hide it, or do we think that did? Because I don't know if I think he, Justin Fields can show flashes of brilliance, but I think that if the guys and the Detroit Lions go into this week of practice and focus on the positives and improving on the little things, like I mentioned yesterday, I love the fact that they're putting themselves in position. It's just they haven't been there before, so they got to learn. So if we have a 4th down and 1, yeah, we're going for it, but look confident like we're going to go for it. Defensively, offensively, we got to face Khalil Mack, right? Obviously, can we do a job at the line? So for me this week, it ain't about Justin Fields. It ain't about them. I'm looking, what did we see out of Goff? We saw last 2 weeks, 2 different halves. Consistency is his biggest enemy. So I think that if they can start establishing, like you said, DeAndre Swift with the run game, that we can, we have a very good chance. I know we're 3-point underdogs right now, plus 130 on the line, but I mean, to me, I like our chances this week. And then that's not just hope and a prayer. That's just, I think that we can build on this.
So
what we have.
I want to tap into what you said. Before the season started, we knew what we knew what we had on our roster. We know what we didn't have as well. And so coming into the season, we knew that there wasn't going to be consistency. And so when we had that 10-7 limo, that limo there, I told you guys that it wasn't going to happen because we didn't have the talent and we didn't have the roster to say, okay, we can come in every week. We can play 4 quarters. We can play four quarters the entire year, week in and week out. We can't do that here. Why? Because we're too thin. We're stretched thin with talent, with our depth. Like we just don't have it right now. And so I'm excited to see us go out there and just make progress. I was proud of my Lions this past week. I was proud of them. I said they came back, they fought. And that's what I want to see. I just want to see. Coach did a great job with managing the game. Goff did a great job that game with managing, making the proper reads, the proper throws. And when it wasn't there, he didn't try to force anything. And that's what we need. Take what the defense gives you, and he did just that. Our defense came up and made some big plays when we needed it. And a game that they didn't have, or no one predicted them even having a shot of winning, almost won that particular game. Now, I told you guys that we're going to win a game that no one is going to expect us to win. That game was almost this past Sunday. It was almost this past Sunday. Now, the game that I said that, I think they might have an opportunity to win, that they're not supposed to win, is going to be against the Cleveland Browns. That's the game I think they're going to sneak one out. Just a hunch. Just a hunch.
And we're calling the shots. We're calling the shots right now.
Yeah.
No, but for this game against the Bears, and Justin Fields questionable, Andy Dalton's questionable. Could get the Nick Foles experience, and you know how that works, right? Like Nick Foles comes in, wins a couple of games. I am telling you guys this. This isn't the get right pick of the week, but ... We're live in the MyBookie studios. You fire open that app. See those numbers. See what Brashad Perriman is to score a touchdown, because we know that's coming, right? Backup receiver. We've seen that bit before, D-Mac.
We've seen a lot of bits, but hopefully we change the narrative this weekend, right? It's just building on it, and to me, it's about condensing the mistakes and improving on them. Oh, they made that mistake last game or week 1. They didn't make the same mistake. So to me, a lot of it is clock management. I like the tweet I read yesterday is that there's a whole bunch of 10-year-olds with better clock management in Madden than there is, in the NFL or maybe the line. But I believe that's a skill you got to learn.
Speaking of clock management, the refs did a horrible job with clock management.
Terrible.
I don't know how it takes you 3 seconds to look at a clock, look at 0, and then look down at the ball and not blow your whistle. It's delay a game. It's delay a game. And I don't want to take anything away from, the Baltimore Ravens going down there and getting themselves in position. But, right is right. Come on now. And even after the game, they spoke on this for a while, the play before the field goal. When they had it's just, I don't know how you missed that. And is this some type of conspiracy, Neal? Like, is this some type of conspiracy?
Well, it's funny you bring that up, Joique, because the referee, Scott Novak, and the back judge, Terrence Mills, that were in the Ravens-Lions game were also part of the officiating crews for the Lions-Packers Hail Mary game in 2015 and the Lions-Falcons 10-second runoff game in 2017, and that information came courtesy of Chris Burke on Twitter, at Chris Burke NFL. And no, again, it goes back to yesterday, Joique, and you weren't here for this. This seems like a 40-second fix to me, man. The NBA does it. Hockey does it. A play clock. Buzzer goes off. Big red light. Horn. Whatever you want it to be. Doesn't that seem very simple? Like this whole...
No, it makes too much sense. It makes too much sense.
Makes too much sense. Same thing, put a chip in the football if it crosses the line. Well, the thing that blows me away for all this is how come, like, if anything's close because of the rule, wouldn't you call it a touchdown because they review it and say, oh, it wasn't in, here, go back? Instead, if you don't call it a touchdown, you got to challenge it, so that screws it. Like, the rules are, to me, aren't as consistent or black and white as they should be. It should be, there should be a buzzer connected with technology that we have, that when that clock goes down, everybody in the building knows that the ball wasn't hiked. Maybe it shocks the centerman. I don't know. Who knows what it does? That and the goal line and the inbounds and different things like that. To me, technology-wise, there's things that could be done in all the sports. Now, they're working towards it. Obviously, you look at baseball now in the strike zone, they have reports. You can go online that they report on the umpires every night. There's strikes. So I don't know what it is, Neal, but it just seems that in 2021 it should be solved. We shouldn't be having these conversations.
It can even be this. It could be just as simple as a coach wants to challenge that and throw out a flag on it. They should be able to do that as well. It was delay a game. It was clear as day. Clear as day, right? And the thing I talked about earlier where they said, well, they gave you guys a touchdown with Jamal Williams and his knee was down. Okay, well, look at the play before that when DeAndre Swift hurdled the guy, stretched the ball across the goal line, and then they called him out of bounds.
Yeah, but if you want to break down the whole game, how many calls are missed or how many are called? That's sports, is it not? Isn't that sports?
That's sports, but that's why you're able to challenge plays.
Human error when it is, but then when it's not, when you're changing some and not changing others, other sports they've been able to do it. I don't know.
Yeah, and what I don't understand.
Basketball's got it, don't they? You cover basketball, don't they have like the 24-second clock or?
Yeah,
they got you got the shot clock.
You have the shot clock. Big, huge red light goes on. Buzzer sounds that the whole arena can hear.
Like if somebody violates that in basketball. It makes too much sense. Like no matter where you are. Your head's down, you're eating something, whatever. you know, right?
It makes so much sense.
It's that blatant, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, just wondering.
Talking about football is just making me hungry.
I know. Hopefully they're eating Papa Romano's pizza.
Well, that's what you should do because it's lunchtime right now, people. I don't know how much easier I can make this for you. It's all right there. PapaRomano'sPizza.com. This is a very simple business. This is, look at your screen right now if you're watching on YouTube. That's it. That's the commercial right there. Pepperoni and sausage, square pizza. I will say this. I am kind of feeling a salad today. No problem. PapaRomano'sPizza.com. Caesar salad. That's usually my choice. I'll ride with one today. Hold the croutons though. But I'll roll with the Caesar salad. No problem. And look, no one's gonna judge you. No one's gonna hate you if you go and you pop for that deep dish with the pepperoni and sausage as well. It's lunchtime, people. Do the easy thing. PapaRomano'sPizza.com. You'll thank me later.
I'm looking to bring on another HVAC tech right now.
We are recruiting 5 to 10 techs a month.
We're looking to grow and expand.
Every new tech we hire is from Northwestern Tech.
The hands-on training is fantastic.
They're always my first call.
We love hiring Northwestern Tech grads.
They come out trained and ready to work.
Our program is only 10.5 months, and our next classes are starting soon. So why wait?
I'm looking to hire
Hire a graduate of Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Rolling on here towards the second hour. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neal Ruhl, Joique Bell, D-Mac, Darren McCarty in the house as well. We'll have the best matchups in Metro Detroit as far as high school football goes right here on the Woodward Sports Network. Got a good one this week. I told you guys, man, the Dakota Chippewa one was fire. This one's going to be fire as well. Brother Rice and Orchard Lake St. Mary's. We'll have that for you in the Woodward Sports Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter at 9 o'clock on Friday night, so make sure you check that out. Brought to you by our friends at Planet Fitness and the Prep along with Woodward Sports as well. Planet Fitness, man, that's my stop. I roll through there right the one on Maple, just down the road. Yeah, I mean, I'm the treadmill guy. I do the bike, though. I like the bike.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can send some emails and stuff like that while you're on the bike.
You love it.
I mean, you got to do it, Joique. Like, still got to get stuff done.
I'm on that elliptical all day.
See, I was talking with my buddy about this. I don't get into the elliptical. I'll run a half marathon, but I won't. I just won't do the elliptical, man. I don't feel it.
It's better for your joints.
Oh, okay, but I just don't.
I like the elliptical.
I don't feel it, man.
It's easy in your joints. It's not that pounding, and it won't break you down as quick. It won't break you down as much as running well, because that's a lot You know, and especially you running on concrete, depending on what you're running on.
Well, yeah, the very best treadmills in the business at Planet Fitness.
The last 3 miles of it, Neal, you know what? If you get on that elliptical, you'll be thanking Joique, all right, instead of pounding the knees.
I just don't. I've tried it, man. I've tried it. I don't like it.
Which one did you try?
I don't get on. I don't get into it.
Which one is it? Which one do you get on?
What, the elliptic? I mean,
because you have the one where you have the arms that go away, and you have the ones that's stationary. You just have your arms right here.
I did the full one.
You did the full one.
Yeah.
Okay. The upper body.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm just not a elliptical guy, man.
Oh.
I still get the work in though, man.
No,
get off me, Joique.
No, you get the work. No, I'm just looking out for your health of your knees and your joints. That's all I'm talking about. That's all. That's all I'm talking about.
No, but I have kind of shied away from the running outside on the concrete and stuff like that. I've been straight treadmill life. Because I'm soft and like wind really bothers me. Like I don't like running into the wind. Like I'm soft. I admit it.
I'll play in torrential downpours.
I'll run for miles.
The minute 5 mile an hour wind and I'm out.
Yeah, I'll run for miles, and I'll get the work in. And I run, like I said, I run 15 miles a week at a minimum, and I'm cool with it.
Tighten up.
But I can't have that wind in my face, man. I'm soft.
Tighten up, Neal.
I'm sorry, man.
I'm sorry. You need to tighten up.
Chuck says my knees won't let me run it outdoors anymore, period. I'm on the bike for hours. I do like the bike, too.
You see why? Because he can't jog anymore because his joints are messed up. I don't want that to happen to you. So jog, but, do it, in moderations. Add some elliptical in there. Continue doing the bike, I just don't do
the elliptical, Joique. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. Hey, some of the Lions had a Monday Night Football watch party. I don't know if you guys saw this. Jamal,
man. You know what? I think this is good for him. I love his personality. I love Jamal Williams' personality.
I do too, man.
I love it, man. Be yourself.
I do too. But what about that, Joique? What about that? I know you've kind of shared a couple of those stories in the past, but the Cowboys and the Eagles not on the Lions schedule. Are they playing the Eagles this year? No, they're not playing the Eagles. I'll have to look it up real quick. But anyway. Yeah. I believe they're not on the schedule. Don't worry, the YouTube people will let me know. Our research department right there will let us know.
They are on the schedule, though.
The Eagles are?
Yeah, they're on the schedule.
The Eagles are on the schedule. Okay, so all the more reason. You guys, you mentioned that before. You guys would get together. Teams are on the schedule. You guys would watch the games. And it looked like they had a pretty good time. DeAndre Swift was there. Penei Sewell was in there as well.
What's happening, everybody? It's your boy, J. Bug, Jamal Williams here. Hanging out with my boy, Real Mike Rob. What's going on, people? Y'all better get up. Let's go. Yes, sir. Then we got right here my boy,
Penei Sewell in the building.
Yeah. You already know. Last but not least. Say it one more time. Let them know.
Swift in the building.
Let them know. We out here, y'all. About to be on this Pizza Hut home gating watch party. Watch out for it, boy. We coming. Yeah.
It's like Daddy got his Pizza Hut shirt on. I love it, man. I love it. No, I love that, and it's good. What I like,
and they all getting paid. They all getting paid camaraderie for that. We don't sit up and watch. We don't watch games like that. We don't do that. They have to pay us to do that. Like,
absolutely,
I get that.
They have to pay us. Like they got to pay me. I'm not watching a game and doing that live without you paying me. Which they're gonna get paid for it. But what we do is we watch the real film. We want to watch it from the end zone version because that's how we can see the whole field. And we don't want any sound. We want to be able to focus on what we're watching. We want to be able to fast forward, rewind, break down the defense. All right, where they in? Are they in 4-3? Are they in under? Are they in under defense? What's their strength? You can't see that just watching the game. Like it's just us with the boys. We just up watching the game. And understand this, guys. You have some guys who really love football, but we're not about to spend 12, 14 hours in the facility and studying when we get back home just to go and do a watch party. Trust me, we're getting enough film in during the week. Trust me. So for to go do that, that's cool. I love it. It's great for him. He might want to do media when he's done, and this is a great startup. When I started doing media, my first thing was I don't know if you remember this, Art, but it was called Answer the Bell. And I would just go around the locker room and I would do these small clips of, or Thanksgiving's coming up or Halloween's coming up. What's your favorite costume? or Thanksgiving coming up. All right, what's your favorite meal? Who's cooking? Who's in town? And I'll go around and I'll ask each player the same question. And so that's kind of how I got started into it. This might be something that he's getting started doing as well. And trust me, they paid me for those Answer the Bell clips, and so I wasn't doing it for fun. I was doing it because they were paying me, and they gave me a suite for a whole year. So So you're about that life, yeah. I was about that. So yeah, I'll take the suite. I'll do these small clips. It's fun, and it was fun too. On top of that, it was fun, yeah. But shout out to the whole crew going out there and getting started with their life after football. No, and that's what it is. But you guys, because I mentioned the fact that you guys do that. But it's all business, right? I mean, I appreciate you kind of sharing the it's all business,
that.
but at the same time, it doesn't mean you can't have fun with it. It don't mean you can't have fun with it. So
you guys don't like order pizza and wings and sit there and do that?
No, God, no.
Go to PapaRomano'sPizza.com and fire up it?
No. We'll order it. We'll order it. We'll order some food.
That's the big thing for. I'd say during the season, like your guys will throw games on, but playoff time, during the playoffs, when you're at the hotel, especially on the road, you got 15, 20 guys in the suite ordering room service or going to eat, but meeting up and sort of watch the game. It's not mandatory or anything, but we'll watch all the different playoff games. And playoff hockey in the NHL, it's game after game after game, especially first round. So you're sort of doing the scouting, but you've seen different things when they come up, when you watch them in film in case you play teams down the road. So we do that playoff time especially. It's sort of second nature.
And I can say too, like at the NCAA tournament, when you make it to the NCAA tournament, everyone's locked into all the games that are going on. Even when you have your own game, obviously you do your film session, your scouting session, and all that stuff. But you walk out of that conference room and you go into the hotel lobby and someone's in trouble, everybody stops what they're doing.
Absolutely.
And they watch it. Like everybody is locked in because it's that time, man. It is.
I'd say when we are watching it is when it's getting closer to the end of the season, playoffs are coming, and you're watching to see who's going to enter. So you're watching some of the games to see who you might have to play against or see if a team is about to lose, so you're in. So, yeah, we're watching the game then, or are we just watching to see the end result? And so that's what we're doing. That's probably one of the only times we're out here doing it.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's Bennett says in our YouTube chat thread, it said, I thought Panay was Manny Pacquiao for a second right there. He does got a little bit of Manny Pacquiao to him, doesn't he? I mean, with the exception of being 6'7", 320 pounds or whatever it is.
He could eat 4 Manny Pacquiaos. That's what he asked for lunch. Panay Sewell has a couple. Can I get a Pacquiao to go, please?
He'll eat it in the car.
I'll eat it in the car.
Over.
Full meal, please.
No, but Jamal Williams is getting a lot of run, though. Like Jenna Newman says, Jamal's my favorite new Lion. And he is, man. Like he's got that it factor, man. He does. And we played some of the clips, and Corey Woods had some of that sound from him during training camp where he's entertaining, man. He has a good time.
He is very entertaining. And I think you need that in the locker room. Those are some long days of sitting in that concrete wall, watching film all day. So you have to have some type of sense of humor in there. Who was that guy for us? Theo was that guy.
It only works when he's that 24/7, right? Because that's the consistency of it, not when the cameras are on, not when everything else, because it's infectious that way. Because you're having a guy like that, you walk into the room, you can't have a bad day. He's not going to let you have a bad day when you get in the dressing room. It's one of those, it doesn't matter what you got going on outside of here. Come on in. And to me, that's when you have a guy like that in the dressing room, like you said, Theo Riddick. I was more like that guy, till I got told to be quiet, which happened a lot.
Yeah. Also, too, we have here in the chat thread, George Webb says, DeAndre Swift is definitely going to be a beast, too. And, Joique, this was something I brought up yesterday with D-Mac and Terry Foster. I think it's official that we can say about DeAndre Swift. When you get here, when you get drafted, there's two things. Are you good? Are you good? Because you don't know until you get here. You think you know. Are you good? Can you stay healthy? I think we can check off the are you good with DeAndre Swift. That man is a player.
He is a player. It's check off that, and are you healthy part is still like a little asterisk right there. We're trying to figure out, let's get through this season first and see how it, because you're never going to go through a whole season healthy, right? You're never going to go through a whole season not being hurt. So you can play through that. Now, injured and hurt is two different things.
But he looks to be dynamic, Joique.
He is. He's electrifying, and he is the focal point. He's probably the best player on offense outside of T.J. Hawkinson, right? For sure. They were doubling T.J. Hawkinson, and they was finding DeAndre Swift, and he was making play after play after play.
I felt bad for those poor linebackers when he would come on the cross or come on the wheel.
And that was one of my favorite routes there because they have to run through so much traffic, and then once we get the ball in our hands, immediately that linebacker is taking an angle to cut you off on where you're going to go because he knows he's not going to be able to catch you if he continues to run behind you. And so these are the parts of the game where I looked at DeAndre Swift, and you can really see how dynamic he is because he was making plays out the backfield, catching the ball. And that's one thing I said early on that he's going to have to be more consistent with, catching the ball out of the backfield and then getting the ball in open space. And then once he has the ball in open space, he can make anybody miss. He can make anybody miss. And so that's one thing I was very it kind of caught my eye when I was watching DeAndre Swift. And at the end of the day, with them doubling T.J. Hawkinson, our best receiver, Cephas is trying to make a few plays here and there, but I'm not seeing enough from Cephas. I'm not. I need to see more from him. And then also, I just need DeAndre Swift to stay healthy. Just stay healthy and continue to do what you're doing, and then eventually, we'll see.
And keep getting to that next level.
We'll see.
Keep getting to that next level.
Durability. Even that next level, you know what? You too, whether it's DeAndre Swift, Jamal Williams, or you, download that Levels app today. Levels at Centerline is now open. Starting right now, get 10% off your order just by mentioning Woodward Sports. Whether you're in store or on the app, make sure you mention Woodward Sports to get your 10% off. Everything from T-Grizzly Gas, D-Max, Darren McCarty brand Max 69 special strains, edibles on sale now. Download and enjoy Levels apps today and start saving. Big D Energy. Be right back. Woodward Sports Network.
Tony is a third-generation logger that has a simple, practical approach to life and work. That's why his Coast DX342 knife is perfect for him. The stainless steel blade is rust-resistant and made for all-weather use. And the double roll-lock safety ensures that it will never inadvertently close when he doesn't want it to. That's why Coast is trusted tough.
Welcome back to Big D Energy right here on the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Neal Ruhl. He is Joique Bell. He is Darren McCarty. Happy to have you along for the ride here on Woodward Sports. And, it was media day yesterday down at Little Caesars Arena, the Detroit Pistons. The training camp roster was announced, and, no big surprises out there as well. But Coach Dwayne Casey was able to address the media. He gave his thoughts on this team. And I do want to take a couple of seconds just to say, because I see the buildup going around, and I know everyone's excited and those kinds of things. And let's listen to Dwayne Casey. I know he's excited too.
I didn't make one phone call and say, hey, get your butt in here. Then they were already here, working out, moving into Detroit, being a part of the community. That's the start of something special there. And that's the culture we want to build. That's the culture we've all talked about, of building to making Detroit the place to go and be. And so it's so important to have that with our young players. And that camaraderie they have, they're kind of all on the same stage and line of growth, that it makes it really good. And you add a vet in like Jeremy, Kelly Olynyk, Corey Joseph, Rodney Magruder, all those are great vets for those young players. But they're all over the city. They've moved all over found places. So that's really, really good to see. And that's what you want to see, the brotherhood and the togetherness, amongst the team. Thanks, Brian.
And I know that everyone's excited, certainly about Cade Cunningham being here, and I know that everyone's excited thinking that the franchise has turned the corner. And Joique, my thing is, and D-Mac, you can speak to this too, we do need to temper expectations a little bit, right? Because I know everybody sees the number one draft pick is in town. All right, the Savior's here. Let's go. This is still a very, very young basketball team, Joique. This is still a basketball team that's 100% different than it was even 18 months ago. It's going to take a minute. When I say a minute, I think top end, optimum, certainly they can compete for a playoff spot. But this talk about winning a playoff series or getting these conference finals, that's a little premature.
I wouldn't say we need to lower our expectations because those are our expectations. Now, if we fall short, I don't think we should be disappointed in our outcome. What we need to see is just kind of similar to the Lions. We just need to see progression. Is this team fighting day in, day out? And we saw that last year. I have no issue with the effort. They have the talent, right? And they're getting more talent, right? They're still young. They're still learning the game. I love the fact that they're already in the gym, in the weight room, already working out, watching film, being together. And I think that's crucial when it comes to building that camaraderie and building a championship franchise. This is what you need.
Yeah, and certainly, D-Mac, you guys did that where you took the steps also when you jumped on the scene.
What's your shirt say? What's your shirt say?
It says Detroit Pistons.
No. Your shirt that you're getting made, 2023.
2023,
well, it's the same thing for the Pistons, too. What I like to hear there is the coach saying, I didn't have to call anybody to come in here. Guys are in the city being part of the culture. They've already been set. Troy Weaver and Dwayne Casey put this ship to sail, right? All our sports teams are out in the open water. Now it just takes time. Let these guys permeate. Let them figure it out. The bottom line is what you hear is it starts with the culture. You look at they signed Luka Garza, obviously because he's earned it. So there's a lot of great things to come. I mean, this is just, guys, sit back with all our sports teams and wait till 2023. Get the Neal Ruhl shirt and just wait, and we'll pick out the rough seas and the good and the bad, but man, you can't. From where we've been 2 years ago, pre-COVID, to where we're at now in this sports town, there is promise, and I'm excited to be a Detroit sports fan and a Pistons fan. Let these kids see what we got.
Yeah, and Troy Weaver did, I think, what Brad Holmes is in the midst of doing right now, and I think it's a little tougher to do in the NFL than it is in the NBA. Where
Stevie did it. You got to figure out your way through to get your guys and what you want. Everybody's doing it. I mean, even to some point, Al Avila to pulling through with these draft picks or some of these trades, like they are coming to fruition. So the fact that we're just not making circles in the dock, right? We're out at sea, we're out of the ocean, we're out there, we're doing it. What happens, I don't know, but it's just 2023 sounds really good to me, Neal.
Yeah, I mean, and don't forget, too, financially with this team, Blake Griffin still has a $29.5 million cap hit this year. Like, that's still
you
there.
You mentioned that about what's the difference? You said 8 words as far as the Lions because of the looking into the cap draft. Well, this is the same thing.
It's the exact same thing.
Steve Eisman, the same thing.
Right.
It's something that, like I said, what's the date? End of September 2020. Well, dude, we only got a year and something. Let's go. Enjoy.
No, but people are fired up. Emerald Eye says, I can't wait for Pistons to start. I'm hyped for Detroit basketball. Yeah. Mr. 715, Garzilla going to score more points than Jalen Green in the first game.
Detroit basketball. Hey, I love it. I love going to the game and hearing that. I love it. Did you get your tickets already for any games coming up?
For me?
Yeah, for you.
Because I'm in season 2, like working. So through the college season, you know what I'm saying, like the dates, But again, I do back up Mark Champion for the radio broadcast too. So I do have to stay kind of flexible in case they call. Then I go do that. Then I come back and go into Oakland. So that's how we do it.
So you don't do nothing during the winter.
Nothing, man. I just sit on the elliptical at Planet Fitness all winter long.
Yeah, we're gonna get you there. I'm gonna get you on that elliptical.
Chuck says, don't sleep on Isaiah Livers either for the Pistons. But again, folks, I get that feeling right now where everybody's saying, hey, Kate Cunningham's on the scene. We're fixed. Let's go. Again, there's $30 million of Blake Griffin's salary still on the books for this year. 2023, maybe I'll make a teal one. In a nod to the 90s.
That's what I'm saying. Who gets closer?
A Neal hashtag, a teal.
Now you're using the coconut, kid.
Yeah, absolutely. We can do that. I can get you some Red Wings. Philippe Zadina. That's going to be my guy.
There you go.
He was my guy when they drafted him. D-Mac, I need him this year. I need to see something.
He's going to have a breakout year this year. Is he? This is the one.
This is it?
Exactly.
20?
A little bit.
20 goals?
The Verona little bit of an issue. We'll seeing a specialist for his shoulder, but I think this is the year for Philip Zadina.
Right, and I need it. We saying 20 goals, D-Mac? Where are we at?
You know what? There's no reason why he shouldn't be able to with
That's all I wanted to hear.
With the ice time that he's going to.
And we saw that at the end of the year where he was kind of put on the first power play line at times.
It's his time.
And that's where you eat.
It's his time, and I think that here I know Tammy Chin in our chat was up at training camp, and it's like, Tammy, how did Zadina look up at camp? Because to me, it's all the work that's putting in and the things that I've been hearing. So he's ready for a big year.
No, I see that. But
2023.
Here we go. Don Rivera? Question. First Detroit team to win a championship. Go.
I got asked this the other day, too. And I honestly think that the NFL system lends itself to it quicker.
Yeah.
The
draft. You got to take that into consideration if you can do it or whatever. To me, I got to think it's the Wings or the Lions.
Yeah, I mean, just my question with the Tigers is the ownership commitment. I mean, because let's be real, in baseball, you got to make it rain.
But here's the thing, right?
Except
we
for
talked
the
about
Tampa
this
Bay
yesterday.
Rays.
Going into this offseason, going into with where things are with the Tigers, if Chris Ilitch makes it rain, we could have this conversation. I go, Tigers. If they add an arm, add a bat, add whatever it could be, they could be 2 years away. Not next year, maybe the next.
Right.
Because baseball, if you spend the money, hence the Dodgers, you can get there. So, to me, I'm going to say the Wings.
What do you got? What do you got, Joique?
You know where I'm going. I'm going to say the Lions.
Can you guys imagine?
See, I don't.
Could you imagine?
When Joy, let me just teach you something. When you got to get it. You got to be. It's the Lions, man. You got to believe it. You got to tell the universe.
I can't. No. It's not because of that. I'm saying it like that because I feel the Pistons are right there too.
Okay.
All right, and that's why it's tough for me to say the Lions because I know the Pistons they're building something special there as well.
I would say from a GM perspective that Troy Weaver, like if you're just squaring up the GMs,
yes,
Troy Weaver took that roster. You wouldn't, if you took the names off the back of the jerseys, you wouldn't recognize that team that's on the floor this year and last year to even the year before that. I mean, he came in and said, "Hey, we're tearing this thing down right now, and I'm going to work." And he flipped that whole rod. It was incredible.
To that point,
I'm gonna tell you a guy,
the closest playoff team.
Yeah.
I believe that
I would agree with that.
In the NBA that can make the playoffs and actually the way the NBA is set up that they're the first playoff team, in my opinion.
Who, the Pistons?
Yeah.
Okay,
Pistons
I'll give
will
you
be
that.
the first ones back in the playoffs.
And so they're the first ones back in the playoffs. Why won't they be the first one to win the championship? That's why.
Basketball's too hard. Basketball's too hard. Too front runner. Too start.
Yeah, you got to have a mercurial talent.
You got to have your mercurial three.
You know,
and not saying you can't get there, but if I'm looking at our roster, that's 3, 4, 5 years. I think the Wings will be there by then.
Mr. 715 says, "Man, that $30 million cap hit really true with Griffin. That sucks if that's true." Yeah, yes, it is because they bought him out. If you remember, they bought him out of his contract. You still have that contract on your books, and this is the last year of it.
But
so,
surrender, right? That's surrender. Okay,
what else can you do? Yeah, you run the white flag
up
the pole on that one.
I mean,
there's nothing else you can do.
What the Lions sort of did, what they're doing with Jamie Collins, what they're sort of doing, like defining talent. That's what Troy Weaver did, so he can get ahead of it. And so all these young guys. So you might be right. It's got to be exciting. At least we're having this conversation.
Yeah, we're having that conversation. Yeah. You know what they say? You can't hide talent. You can't hide it. Yeah, I had a coach. I'll say his name. He got off the. So you wake up in the morning, game day. You leave a team hotel. You hop on the game bus. They have 3 different game buses. They leave about 30 minutes after each other. You can choose which bus you want to get on. I usually like to get there early, so I'm taking that first bus. And I'm on the bus with the coach, and coach is sitting right there. He hops off the bus. He has on his shades, has on this custom-made suit, and gets off with this Louis V bag. I said, "Coach, man, you can't hide it, huh?" He said, "You can't hide money." He had his walk. He's like, "No, you can't hide money. You can't hide it. When you get on that football field, you can't hide talent. You can't hide it." And and players that are looking at guys who they feel they can outplay, but they might be veterans, and now they're getting the opportunity to go out there and play. That's major. That's major to me when I played. When I saw a guy get released who played my position, but they capped me, that says something to me. You guys believe in me because you guys could have let me go. And you know what? I love it. Can't hide talent.
Yeah, absolutely. But D-Mac, you're right. What he did with the Blake Griffin thing, just throw your hands up in the air. Got to move on. They were able to, I think they bought their way out about $6-7 million on the deal. And
cut your losses.
Cut your losses, man.
Move
cut
forward.
your losses, exactly. Speaking of cuts.
Yeah, you can move on to a wicked awesome haircut from our friends at Lady Jane's. Let's be honest, we like the simple stuff. Football 5 days a week. We like things uncomplicated too, like Lady Jane's haircuts for men. Walk in, sign in, sit down, and before you know it, you are handsome and clean. Get to Lady Jane's, open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
I'm looking to bring on another HVAC tech right now.
We are recruiting 5 to 10 techs a month.
We're looking to grow and expand.
Every new tech we hire is from Northwestern Tech.
The hands-on training is fantastic.
They're always my first call.
We love hiring Northwestern Tech grads.
They come out trained and ready to work.
Our program is only 10.5 months, and our next classes are starting soon. So why wait?
I'm looking to hire
Hire a graduate of Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
We're rolling. It is Big D Energy right here on the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Neal Ruhl. He's Joique Bell. He's D-Mac, Darren McCarty. Welcome in studio right now. Our good friend Kennedy Broadwell sitting in with us here on Big D Energy. Kennedy.
Hello.
What is going on?
So weird because I'm like used to sitting in this chair, but now I'm like a guest in my normal chair.
You're not a guest.
Weird.
This is your house too.
Well, you know, different show.
Woodward Sports House, right?
Woodward Sports House.
No,
correct.
just wanted to bring you on. You know, the fans of Big D Energy that watch, you know, get to know you a little bit. Tell everybody a little bit about what you do here at Woodward Sports. Where can they catch you?
Yeah, so you can catch me every morning on the Morning Woodward Show. I help host that show with Adam and Jeff. Lots of fun there. A lot of spiciness, I guess, from Adam's side, you could say. You know, you either love it or you hate
bestie.
it. Hi, bestie.
What's up, bestie and the Tessie?
And then I do Hot Clock every day, which is kind of like a reference to a shot clock in basketball, which Neal will like. So 24 seconds on the clock for 5 stories in a row, so it comes out to, you know, a little under 2 minutes normally. So you can see that on all of our socials every single day, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram. Yeah.
You got a copy of one of those, Art?
One of those.
See one of those in action?
Yes.
You can follow Kennedy on Twitter at BroadwellK, by the way. But, you know, it is. You
got to check out, man. Great energy.
Here's an example of a hot clock if you haven't followed us on social at Woodward Sports.
This is Hot Clock. So much football to cover from over the weekend, so let's line them up. The Lions took a devastating L to the Ravens Sunday, 19-17, thanks to the 66-yard field goal by Justin Tucker. If that angle didn't hurt you enough, here it is again. I mean, there's really only 2 reactions you could have to something like this. Here is the entire Lions franchise summed up by our friends Stick and Anson.
Oh my God, it went over! Oh no!
The Lions held a Hall of Fame.
That is
Absolutely.
That is
awesome.
I was
Awesome.
Anson. I was laughing. I was like, what do
Man.
you expect?
I was in awe. I was in awe. I didn't know.
Can you give us a breakdown?
I'm gonna tell you why.
Watching this because you.
Let me tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why.
Break it down.
We lost
Break it down
the
for your best
same
fielder.
exact way. Same kicker, same team, 2013. I believe it was Monday night.
61.
We lost the exact same way, but it wasn't a 66-yard kick. It was a 56-yard kick, I believe. And he nailed it right down the middle and beat us the exact same way. It just brought back. I had PTSD. I did. It brought back
between Tucker and Rodgers, man.
You know what?
Poor Joique.
It brought back
Poor
memories.
Joique.
It brought back memories that I thought was I took it out my memory and I threw it I threw it out and I flushed it down the toilet and I saw that happen. I thought there was no way that was going in. And the only thing I could think about is having a Calvin Johnson back there to jump up and knock it down. Why didn't they put someone back there? Usually they'll put somebody back there to either catch it or, but I guess it was like the last one of the game, so it really doesn't matter. But
I always thought that too, Joique.
I would put somebody tall back there.
There's no goaltending on a field goal.
No, it's not.
Could you imagine
Yes.
if you put a guy back there?
Yes,
in
I'm thinking that in my head.
where he actually makes that play.
Yes, I'm thinking in my head, like why are we not doing that? Like why didn't we do that there on that particular play to definitely have someone there? What's up? What is that fish?
Okay, what if he tips it in?
Yeah,
That wouldn't matter because win it anyway.
I know it went in anyway, but what if he tips it in and then all
There
the
you
hate
go,
goes
Fish.
on the
I
guy
know.
who tipped
But
it in?
the
Now
fact-
you're all
I
like,
think
what?
that's a part of the game.
Put someone
Fish.
back there. I can't believe he put someone back there. We're 0-3. Dan
It's the
Campbell
same
fired.
thing
Get
as
him
what
out
happens
of
if
here.
the guy goes over to catch the fly ball over the wall and he drops it. Well, was he supposed to attempted it to stop it at all? But my question back to Kennedy.
Yes.
How do you decide? Is it topics of the day or is it like different things? You don't just cover sports in your hot clock, do you?
Right. Yeah. So when I started Hot Clock, I was just covering sports, but now I try and mix in at least one or two kind of more pop culture references a day. So yeah, it's normally 3 sports like heavy topics and then 2 lighter, more fun or like what's trending on Twitter type of topics.
Oh yeah. So this is the hippest person in the studio. Is
No,
Kennedy Broadway?
that's you. No, that
Stop.
might be
That's
Neal.
The what
And-
person?
That might be
The hip,
Neal.
the hip. And you know, I put art in that cat. Like it's like
I feel
it's
Kennedy, I
Neal
feel
and
like
Kennedy.
Joique sleeps on me
No,
sometimes.
it's like
Yeah, he's
I don't
sleeping.
sleep on you. I'm just
No, I think you do.
You know, I might sleep on you a little bit. I'm
Yeah,
taken by
you
surprise
do.
sometimes. I'm taken by surprise sometimes.
I think
Like,
that's
okay,
Yeah,
That's
when
okay,
Neal
Neal.
says something, sometimes you're like, hang on, what just came out of your mouth?
I told Joique I'm deeper in the streets and I get credit for around here.
You absolutely are.
Yeah.
But you know, but that's covert. But that's just sort of
That's
like
just the way I like it.
You let it on that they think you don't know, but you know.
Yeah.
So what are some of the because that's important. So some of the things talk about people who haven't seen the Morning Wood. You guys do that, like you said, with Juicy Jeff and the Sheik of the Spread, angriest man at Woodward, and yourself. So what give people who haven't seen 8 to 10 in the Morning Wood? What do you guys usually get into?
Yeah, so if you guys haven't tuned into Morning Wood yet, it's very, very sports heavy. It's not like your typical morning show where it's just like joking around. Adam likes to just get right into it. You're going to get those really fiery discussions between Jeff and Adam, and then I get to be, moderator, mediator, whatever you say, and deal with the two of them. I get to be a referee. I think I need to start wearing more stripes to work. Is how I've been feeling lately. It's been fiery. It's fun though. It's a lot of fun, and like I said, you either love it or you hate it, and either way you want to watch because you want to get your opinion out there to these two guys who also have very strong opinions. So it's fun. It makes for a good time every morning.
Mike G on our YouTube chat thread says, I like that complaining fish voice. Yeah, I do too.
I just know that people would have complained either way. Now they say it's the Lions' curse, but they would have complained even more. Why is he putting someone back there? Dan Campbell's an idiot for putting someone back there. There's no time left. The Lions can't run the ball back because they just don't have enough good blockers to block them. So why is he putting someone back? People complain for whatever reason. And at any sport, they'll complain about anything. They just see the negatives and go, negative. Let's complain about that. So,
which is true. Certainly that is true.
And that's not even including the guy's DMs that he's going to get when he opens up the social media, which Joique, by the way, advises them not to open it up, but they might have social media anyway. This guy will get death threats. And that shouldn't happen, but people do whatever they do, and they'll just say, you bleep, why are you back there? They'll probably talk about his hand size.
Talk about his hand size. That is a great bit. I do love that bit. 9 Drink says Kennedy and Bell are great together. Makes the best show even better.
Aww.
So look at that.
Kenny Pookie. Kenny Pookie.
No, but what else? What other stuff you got going on, Kennedy? How else you involved with the network?
Well, I can't spill anything yet, but there will be more coming for sure. But I know. We'll have to wait because that's it's not official yet.
What's the tea?
Coming. I
Confidential.
Can't
say it.
G14 classified?
But
sure.
It's classified information.
No, it's G14 classified though.
What's G14?
Oh God, Neal. HIPAA real quick.
No, Kennedy says she just lets her agent and her accountants handle all that stuff.
Kennedy Pookie Boo Bear. Mike G, what up, though? On a YouTube
But
thread.
you guys can also catch me on the Sundays, sometimes Mondays, sometimes Thursday, pregame shows for the Lions as well on Woodward Sports on all of our live streams. So that's always fun as well.
I will be in the building this Sunday.
Oh,
on
yay.
O'Toole's and
I
Royal
really
Oak.
like it at O'Toole's. O'Toole's has like the perfect vibe for what we're going for. It was so much fun.
Because they got a bar, Kennedy. That's okay.
Yep.
That's right. Exactly.
Kennedy.
Exactly. It's right beside the bathroom, next
I'm
to the
just
Golden
saying,
Tee.
they do.
Listen, they do, and I happen to be, my segment happens to be sponsored by Jose Cuervo, so if I drink a little bit of Jose Cuervo,
And it does happen to be
Well, you
a
learned
Sunday
that from
fun
Terry and Neal.
Rush hour,
you know,
exactly.
just showing you how to attribute the sponsors. And plus, I don't drink, so you have to drink mine.
right.
Right, exactly. You always got an excuse.
And so,
out here.
and this is for the people because people are popping up in the thread right now. For if you guys know what G14 classified came from, just type it out into our group chat for Kennedy can go back there and watch it. And then when you go home, you need to go home and watch this movie because it's a classic.
Okay.
It's a classic. It's a classic.
No, but Kennedy, certainly do appreciate you stopping by, getting everybody up to date with what you do around here. And again, they can follow you on Twitter. It's pretty simple. Broadwell K, at Broadwell K. You can follow Kennedy
And
on there.
also, before I leave, Kennedy is responsible for we started it today, but the beautiful pre-show announcements. So look forward to between 10 and 10:15 every day that will tell you what's coming up.
Yeah,
going on
either-
the program.
either
But
DMAC,
with her
Joique-
help and bells and whistles that young Miss Kennedy can help with us old guys. Pretty
Right.
much, that's what it is.
Either DMAC, Joique, or myself
No,
will be jumping on
stop saying that. Stop it. You're a comedian. It's either going to be you or Neal. Joique, we can't do the pre-show videos at 10:59. Come on. I'm sorry. I had to get that.
I mean,
I
we
feel
could.
I feel
the
bad.
late,
Right in the
the
heart.
late jokes are still rolling through on
now
the
he wants
midday
to talk.
shows.
Why is Arnold
Now he wants to
worried
talk.
about what you're...
Just keep the
Joique,
content.
I'm
Just
not
keep the
that
content.
you're out doing Big J journalism for the show, getting Neal and I stuff. We'll
Right.
take care of it.
Yep.
Right.
But just
All
don't
right.
expect to see Joique.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Absolutely.
It's been
Thanks,
fun.
Kennedy.
Kennedy, see you on Sunday.
All
O'Toole's
right, see
Royal
you
Oak.
Wherever you
Sunday.
need me.
See you everyone else in the mornings, 8 to 10.
8 to 10.
All right. Appreciate the time,
Pull up
Kennedy,
on
very
me.
much. Pull up on me.
Pull up. Oh, hey, get out of here. Give me some, bestie.
No, but again, and remember, you guys can come on out there for the pregame. There we go.
What you doing?
There it is.
Miss you.
Are you going to
Get out of
tell
here.
everybody what G14 is? Or
So hold up real quick. So G14, they put it out. It's from Rush Hour. It's from Rush Hour.
Oh, I've seen Rush Hour.
You don't know what G14 classified means from that movie?
That's what Chris Tucker's special FBI assignment was classified as.
G14 classified.
There you go. Good talk.
He had to babysit.
Yeah, great talk, everyone.
Great talk.
When we come back, I do want to run this by Joique and to Darren to a degree, because there's a guy in the NFL that's getting a lot of chances, man. A lot of chances. And at some point, you wonder, when does he run out of chances? But I think I have a theory as to why he's getting all these chances. There's no question about that. But when we come back, we will discuss that. But first, our friends at BetQL want you to know something.
That's right. If you want to get an advantage over your sportsbook, you need to download the BetQL app. It's super easy. You could go to the Google Play Store, or you can just ignore Joique while you're trying to do a live read and he wants to whisper like a baby. There's Best Bet computer model scans over 350,000 unique bets per year to give you the best bet recommendation for every single game. And the Best Bet algorithm went 13-2 on 5-star bets for week 1. So you need to download it. Head on over to the App Store or Google Play Store now to download BetQL, or just go to try.betql.co/WSN to get started today. Don't miss out on your chance to beat your sportsbook this football season with BetQL.
Okay, you thirsty little spin goblins. I want you to pedal into the next dimension. Spin it! Spin! Spin! Uh-oh! Carmen's falling behind. Let's give her the hiss of shame. Spin! Spin! Spin till you bleed!
Don't ride the bike of shame. Come to Planet Fitness and find your own lane with tons of equipment, free fitness training, and no hissing. Join today for just $10 a month.
Back at it here, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neal Ruhl, Joique Bell, Darren McCarty here on a Tuesday, coming down the stretch of the show. But this was something that caught my eye. And look, I'm going to talk about it and tell everybody why, but then I'm also going to get caught up in it too because told my son to slide in on that fantasy team action with it. Josh Gordon got signed by the Kansas City Chiefs. And here's a guy, what's he on, like his 9th chance or 10th chance or whatever it is. But and certainly, he's shown that he has some demons and some stuff that he's fighting all the time. But Joique, I think that this is an example of, and I ask you this because I want you to take me inside that Chiefs locker room, which obviously you're not in, so you can't speak to the dynamic. You don't know. But just basing on all the locker rooms you've been in throughout your career, what is the feeling if you're a Chiefs organization who, is reeling a little bit for them at 1-2 right now, but has, a Super Bowl under their belt, that played in the Super Bowl last year? What's your best guess as to what that mood is like in the locker room when Josh Gordon comes walking through the door?
That's tough.
Because there's a lot on the line here. The Kansas City Chiefs are playing for the ultimate stakes.
That's tough. Coming into the locker room, if I'm as a teammate, or you want me to give my kind of my vision if I was working in a front office on what? So which one do you want? You want the player?
I want the experience you have. You sat in that locker room.
I'm saying, so you want
he comes walking in the door on Monday morning for the first time.
I'm gonna introduce myself. I'm gonna introduce myself. All right, and then and then when you're dealing with guys who you don't want to just go in just fist first, no Vaseline. You want to kind of fill him out. You want to fill him out. You want to make sure he's here for the right reason. And so when he comes in, before he even signs with the team, they're going to have this conversation like, well, what are your goals? This is how we do things here. This is the culture. If we were to bring you in here, are you willing to adapt and conform to what we're doing here? And when you have a guy who has this type of talent, you'll take the risk. You'll take it because the worst case scenario, it doesn't work out. You cut him. Contract's not guaranteed. Hey, little loss. And so I think they take this opportunity, bring him in as a teammate sitting in the locker room. I know what this guy's capable of doing. He's been out for a while. Let him get out there on the practice field. Let's see how he's doing. We know he's going to be a little rusty. We know that. But talent. Recognize talent, and we'll be able to see what he can do when he gets back out there on the field. And obviously, he did well enough, and he was in good enough shape to pass the workout to come back. So,
what about it, D-Mac? I mean, in your experience, obviously a different sport, but I think the dynamic is the same, right?
Yeah, no, I mean, it is. There's some different rules and stuff like this, and I'm not going to get into schematics of personal belief, but he's obviously playing by the rules. As a teammate, you want to know, are you committed? It's the same thing as me, but maybe it's a lot like me coming back in 2008, proving myself in the IHL, going to Grand Rapids. But the one thing is that when I was in the locker room, the guys knew that I was committed and I was there, and I wasn't going to let anything happen because it was bigger than most. Sometimes when you're talking about recovery or doing different things, it's that team aspect. So to me, him getting all these chances, obviously he hasn't done. It's self-detrimental and for whatever, without getting all into it, but it's the education on cannabis and different things. The stances have changed. Now I'm a firm believer there's consequences positively or negatively to your actions, no matter what it is, and there's rules. So, but the fact that if he can help, I mean, sort of Kansas City's a place to go for the last chance, isn't it? Sort of like it was in Tampa or New England or whatever. If he can do anything, if he's still got talent left. But obviously getting these chances, somebody thinks that they can do something because naturally his ability. But as a teammate, you want to say, are you committed? Right? And is this, 3 games in, are you gone again? So that's just to feel out where he's at, and as a teammate, because you don't. It's the same thing as the Bertuzzi thing with the getting the shot, right? Can't play in Canada. You don't want to know when the guy's not available if you put him in your game plan and they're going to use him. You want to know he's dependable.
And I think it gets to a point now with Josh Gordon, and I haven't seen the financials as far as the contract, but I would imagine there's not a ton of risk for the Chiefs organization.
Gotta be no risk, doesn't
gotta
it?
be no risk.
Yeah, I mean, and that's I'm sure that's the case. I haven't looked it up as of yet. But with all that being said, as far as it goes with him, organizationally, and Joique, you brought up a good point too. You say, am I looking at this from an organizational perspective? Organizationally, it's easy to just take out the scissors and cut at that point. And that's the thing where obviously he has something. And look, he has talent. There's no debating that. We've seen that talent on display. And Nick Hedigan says there are a number of guys in the NFL that get way too many chances. But the talent, Joique, is in short supply. I keep going back to that. And I was talking about this before with somebody else where they were kind of complaining about the amount of money that athletes make. And I said, you got to look at it from the standpoint of the percentage of people in the world that are blessed by that talent is just so tiny.
It's tiny.
And it's classic supply and demand.
1%. That's why we make up the 1%. It's only 1% of the people, less than that actually in this country, will have an opportunity to play in the NFL. All right. We fall into that category. So when you say, we get paid too much to do something that's a spectator sport that everyone loves to watch, that everyone can make money off of, who owns the team or who's a part of the team, no, I think it's people look at Golden State. I think before Steph Curry got there, they were under $1 billion franchise, and then he came there, helped to build this dynasty there that they had for one point in time, and then all of a sudden, their network shut up 3,000 or 4,000%. And so it's crazy to kind of look at that standpoint. And I mean 300 to 400%, but look at that standpoint and say, we get paid too much. So who's going to get that money that we help bring in revenue, that we help create it? We don't deserve it. Who deserves it then? Right? And so I always looked at people like that and say, you guys don't understand the nature of this business. For people to go out there and play football, like people, they lose. You can lose your life. And when I say your life, I'm not talking about going on the field and dying, because that's happened to people as well. But what I'm saying, go out there on the field and you lose your mental health. You have to you break a leg and nothing's the same.
It's all the moral story. It's over in the snap of a finger.
In the snap of a finger. And so when that happens, and you can't go out there and have the same lifestyle you had as far as health wise, because we have this term. You heard the term "health is wealth," right?
Right.
We just trademarked that. So now, me and my business partner, we own that trademark, "health is wealth," because it's true. And so,
because you can't buy it.
Yeah, because you'll know billionaires who they wish they had the health.
Right.
They wish they had the health. Right. And so it's tough. It's tough. And so now, if we don't get that money, then who deserves it? If we don't deserve it, after all the hard work we put in.
Yeah, and look, and people are talking about it in the chat thread. They said Josh Gordon's now 30. It's now or never.
He's still young. He's still young, actually. He's still young.
But I think when you're 30 with the kind of mileage that Josh Gordon has, I'm confident to say this.
He doesn't have mileage. That's the thing.
He's got no mileage.
He's been suspended 6-7 times.
It's like bringing out the convertible every now and then, and I want to believe, and I'm not up to it, but like
I would say baggage. I would say baggage, not mileage.
Ripping the bong. Sure. Now, hopefully, you can overcome this, right? And if that is because of the cannabis, and there's a way to make it, but I think he's got tread on the tire because he hasn't taken a lot of the abuse of a 30-year-old receiver, right? When you look at it, so I mean, I hope for the best, but the one thing is right when we're talking about Josh Gordon, we're talking about my situation back in 07, 08, or we're talking about Richard Sherman. The organization matters. You need a veteran organization or a veteran coach or guys that have established. So him going, and it's just like why I thought it might work with Josh Gordon and the New England Patriots, but obviously not. But you go to a veteran team that's already made that he's a caveat. It's like Richard Sherman talking with Tom Brady. All this stuff, the drama of this isn't a big thing, right? They're used to it, so you got to look and see where guys will go. So if it's going to work anywhere, I would expect that hopefully it'll work with the Chiefs because, you got Tyreek Hill, then you got Josh Gordon, you give him another weapon.
Well, you always told me, D-Mac, the Red Wings locker room ran itself.
Yeah.
It was an autonomous vehicle.
Absolutely. Once Scotty got it in there, and you know, it really, the big epitome of that for us, right, wasn't just getting through and winning the cup. I think that the autonomy, that we knew we were on the right path, but you got to look at us in the face of destruction, because I was never so proud of Steve Eisman being my captain or the leader, and where it all came together is when he's at the hospital the night when Vladimir Konstantinov is on his deathbed because of the accident, and we all come together. So it's bigger than life. So us as a team, us as a wing-wheeled Red Wing culture have gone through the highest of highs and lowest of lows, but at the end of the day, we had that stability from losing from 93 to 97 to get over the. So there's something when you don't quit, when you climb that mountain, fall down with the same guys, and just determine you're gonna get up there with the same group of guys and not change it. That's the thing. So hopefully it works out, because situation in this case, I think it helps.
So basically, Steve Eisman, he was y'all guardian. That was y'all guardian.
Steve Eisman, Scotty Bowman, they were the guardians of the locker room, right?
Well, Scotty taught, right, and then Stevie led.
Right,
and then we all fell in line.
Yeah. They were the guardians. Thank you, D-Mac. Guardian Alarm gets it. A good defense on and off the field helps you feel secure. Guardian Alarm has state-of-the-art technology that helps you feel safe with all the 24/7 monitoring. Also, Guardian Alarm has a convenient feature that lets you check in on your home. You can control the lights, the temperatures, detect smoke or carbon monoxide. It'll even let you lock and unlock your doors. So pretty awesome features. Now, if you call 800-STAY-OUT today, you can get more information. That's 800-STAY-OUT. Guardian Alarm has been a trusted brand for over 90 years at keeping families safe. We got more Big D Energy right here on the Woodward Sports Network.
Do you know why realtors love using Hall Financial as a lender? Because of our commitment to speed and service. We have nearly 4,000 five-star reviews already. Call today, 248-308-5000, or go to callhallfirst.com.
Fellas, football's here. It's time to make your grooming experience easy like Sunday morning. Get to Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Walk in, relax, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Get to Lady Jane's, open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Final segment of the show here on a Tuesday. Big D Energy, Neal Ruhl, Joique Bell, D-Mac, Darren McCarty in the house. Fish in the bowl. The child of Flint, Arturo, is in the production booth also. But we promised it. You guys brought it up earlier. We're men of our word up in here, so I certainly will deliver. Wanted to wrap things up and just to put a perspective on this. And we talked about the Sheila Ford Hamp thing and the Lions fans booing and all that kind of stuff. And by the way, we will talk to Calvin Johnson Thursday at noon right here on Big D Energy. The Big D! NFL Network's A Football Life featuring Calvin Johnson is ready to drop. We'll get his thoughts on that. But just to give you guys an idea of how far-reaching this one, Pat McAfee brought that up on his show. And you guys need to hear the reaction from Pat McAfee about this. Listen to this.
I mean, it was
a horrible situation to be in.
Bro, and the 81's on the field, and Calvin Johnson's coming out. And when Calvin came, I assume it was a big pop. He spoke for 30 seconds. So I think it was the Lions fans letting old Sheila Ford Hamp know that the man you're about to celebrate right now, you have. And I like that is what the Lions fans have done. We'll still pay our money for this ticket. We'll still enable you as an owner. We'll still make money for you. We'll still come out here. But we would like to let you know, and hopefully your family know, that we do not appreciate with what you have done to the sport of football in Detroit. I loved it. I absolutely loved it.
I give them credit.
Yeah.
I don't you give the Detroit, sorry to cut you off, I give the Lions fans credit for knowing the situation and understanding. Like, didn't you think there had to be a couple people like, hey, what are we booing her for? But it sounded like everybody's like, nope, we are going to boo her, and this is a 100%, we are all in this thing together.
And imagine her going, now, Megatron, he walks up and the place just starts going crazy. He had to just be like, hello, thank you for this. And I bet that is the Detroit Lions fans trying to say, like, hey, we still want you here, pal, okay? Yes. We would like you around a lot. The coaches did the same thing. They brought him into camp. The fans have done the same thing. Now, just hire him to a position and pay that man his money.
Jesus.
It'll all go away.
Now listen. Yeah. So let's move forward, because I don't think he knows this, because I don't think he was privy of this. But I loved everything he said. But I want him to understand they did offer him the money back for 28 hours worth of work throughout the year. I think, was it for each year, 28 hours for each year, or was that total 28 hours?
That's not paying him his money.
That's
That's
not
offering him
a job. And what he's saying, and what Calvin, and I respect his decision, saying, why do I have to work for money that is rightfully mine already? I've already worked for that money. I signed for that money. It should be mine. And the thing that's disheartening to me is that he didn't have to retire. He could have let them cut him. He could have got money back from them. He could have been a big salary hit, and we wouldn't have been able to go out and get more talent. He came in and said, you know what? I don't want to do that to the team. I'll retire. You guys, you guys can take that money and go rebuild this team. And he didn't have to do that. He came and did that, and then turns back around, and then that old regime came back and said, oh, well, you retired, so we're going to need $1.5 million back from you, on top of, the $16.5 that you just let us keep. We need your personal money now. That's not classy.
Here's the most poignant
That's
point.
not classy. It's not classy.
No, not at all.
And it is not a good representation of the organization that I've been a part of for 6, nearly 7 years. It's nowhere near. This is a Class A organization, and we need to continue to act as such. We do now.
Here's the thing. But here's the thing, and if you listen to what A.J. Hawk said, so know this as a Lions fan, because a parent from a former guy that played against you, but they're bringing it to fruition, is that usually he's saying, oh, a couple people didn't know, but 100% of the Lions fans, like Pat said or whatever, paid their money, said, we're going to enable you. Yeah, we know this, but we're not happy. We're going to let you hear it. And the fact that the boo sounded like 100% of the fans, that's what should be apparent. It's not half of it. It's not whatever. We're all in this together. So as Lions fans, if you hear me roar, well, it sounds like Pat McAfee, A.J. Hawk, and their listeners heard exactly what us Lions fans wanted them to hear.
Yeah, so when you look at this as at a business standpoint, I'm thinking, so I'm about to side with the organization right now. If I'm looking at this at a business opportunity, of course, I'm going to offer him that. I come back and just do 28 weeks a year, and we'll give you, $500,000 a year. Last year we'll give you $600,000. Just come in. Do they not realize if they just give him his money back, he'll come do some of this stuff just off the love of the team? Do they not know that? Do they not understand that? Like, I don't understand Calvin is here. You have one of the greatest receiver to ever play here, and then we're treating him like this. And he wants to be here. He's in the city. He's in the community. Let's fix it. Fix it.
One point that needs to be made 100% to all Lions fans is that Calvin went out there and did that for us. That was for us, not for 100%. Anything else. But if you don't,
D-Mac, when we talk to him on Thursday, that's going to be my first question for him. Is that looked like it meant something to you?
It meant to him. Don't take it, and that's why taking it away, I guess, and it's not taken away because this is the big issue that he can bring to it. But I think that he went through all that and did that, even because
he swallowed a lot of pride. He swallowed a lot of pride.
You owe me $100. You're paying me on the thing, like, to show up. So it meant so much to Joique's point. He wants to be a part of the community and stuff like that. How are you not embracing it? It's a joke because you don't have a grip on the facts. So hopefully it was a fact that Sheila's standing out in front because it's trying to make something that's going to change. But right now, it's the same old thing from the front office.
Mike says that Sheila Ford Hemp gets more booze than the Iron Sheik.
That's tough.
Which certainly is tough. No, it is. And again, that'll be my first question was, for you being there, that meant something to you. You wanted to connect with those fans. You saw it on his face. You can't fake that, what you saw on his face.
No, absolutely.
And you wanted to be there for the fans, man.
It'll be exciting to talk to him about his football life coming out on it in the NFL Network Thursday. We're going to have him.
Yeah, absolutely. Good show today, guys. Good to have you back in the saddle, Joy.
I'm excited.
I can tell.
I'm excited. Make sure you guys tap in on Thursday because we got some questions that we're going to get out there. We're going to have a deep conversation on Thursday.
Yeah, he's your guy.
We're going to have a deep conversation with Boy Calvin. I'm going to tap in with him today. We're going to have a conversation. And then, I want to get someone in here from the Lions standpoint, upper management, and kind of figure out how can we get this done. How can we do this?
I like where your head's at.
Joique is gonna get stuff done.
Because my man got to get his money, and I don't want anyone looking at my franchise or my organization that I love as they don't treat their players right.
See, Joique, you're a doer, man. People sit here and talk about it. Joique's doing. I appreciate you doing and watching. Big D energy for Joique Bell, D-Mac, Fish. And my name's Neal Ruhl. We'll see you guys again tomorrow. Well, see you later.